So I'm back with my next video, and if this is the first time that you're watching, my name is Hilary. I make videos every 2 weeks, but I've been trying to push myself to make videos every week. So do subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and if you're interested to find out about the average Singaporean's daily life. I do lifestyle videos, and I'm also trying to vlog more often. And if you would like to see snippets of my daily life, you can follow me on Instagram at HilaryArielTan. I post my reflections about life and I also post things that keep me entertained on a day-to-day basis. So today I'm back with some of my thoughts on turning 24 because my birthday just passed earlier this week. So I think turning 24 has been quite an interesting season for me because there were a lot of changes, a lot of transitions. I got married, I hit my first year milestone of full-time social work, I got my own house, moved away from my parents, which is kind of strange, I think, if someone not from Singapore heard this, because I think overseas people move out earlier, but in Singapore, because of our housing system, then we just tend to move out a bit later. And yeah, I think this is quite a significant step for me because I'm personally quite close to my family, my parents and my grandma. So I think yeah, it's quite significant moving away from them and knowing that this is going to be a long-term arrangement. Well, at least for 10 plus years, I'll be living away from them. So it's been quite a daunting season, and I think if you are also in your 20s and you are watching this, you probably will understand how that feels because you probably feel like there are a lot more responsibilities and a lot more things to consider, and you probably feel like just yesterday you still feel like a kid. So I think with so many changes that has been going on, I have been reflecting a bit more, and I think birthdays for me have just generally always been seasons of reflection for me. I tend to be a bit more sentimental and more reflective during my birthdays. I tend to think about what has happened in the past year, I tend to think a lot more about whether or not I have grown as a person. So yeah, I think this particular birthday has been full of thoughts for me because of all that has happened. So as I reflected a bit more, I realized that this past year has actually been quite a big struggle for me in terms of like feeling very insecure about my decisions, feeling very insecure about my own abilities to manage my responsibilities. Yeah, and the age-old problem of struggling with not having control in that sense. Like I tend to panic when I realize that a lot of things are not within my control, and it's something that I've just been struggling with since my teenage years, and it's just amplified a lot more because of how much change has been happening throughout this past 1 year. So there was a lot of stumbling around, fumbling, not knowing how to feel, what to do, not knowing whether what I did was right, feeling lost. Yeah, and in reflecting, I've come to realize that my common response to my insecurities and this lack of control that I felt I had was always to fight or to flight. And I think it's not something that is new to me, but I always thought that it's something that I have moved past. Especially after coming to know God, I thought that it was something that I wouldn't struggle with as much as before, but turns out that I think when there's just enough pressure and enough change, then I guess I'm still sometimes that same old person that always beats myself up, and that's what I mean by fight, and also to avoid thinking about it and dealing with it, which is what I mean by flight now. So I would say that I think in this past 1 year, there were a lot of periods of times when I was just not my best self, yeah, because I was either too downcast because of how much I would beat myself up over the mistakes that I make, over my own thoughts about myself, about my own insecurities. And there were also a lot of times when I just avoided having to deal with like my difficulties up front. There were a lot of times when I tried to avoid and just try to cruise past my issues and hopefully like just think that okay, like once this thing is over, then I will not encounter such another problem again, which is obviously not true. So yeah, I wasn't really my best self, I think, for quite a number of months during this year of change and transitions. So I think during my birthday, I got a chance to just slow down and think about my life. Now I sound so wise and old. Yeah, but I got a chance to just slow down and think a bit about what has gone on, not just externally, not just like in terms of like the the external change that has been going on, but also internally just to reflect on what has been going on within me, and also to take a bit more time to seek God and to pray about what has really been going on. So all that struggles that has been going on within me, to just come before God and to present some of my struggles and my insecurities before Him, and to face it because I mean there were a lot of times when I just brushed it aside and tried to move past it and just go on with life. So I think this whole time of just praying and seeking God and just reflecting about what has happened in the past year together with God has been very refreshing and brought about a lot of comfort that I didn't know that I need. And I think as I reflected, God really reassured me that He was with me. It's such a simple truth, but something that I tend to forget very often, because I think when the hustle and bustle of life just gets to you, sometimes you just don't pause to think and reflect on your own relationship with God. I mean, at least that was for me lah, and I just focus on the doing and just brush past all the struggles, and like I said, don't think too much, don't dwell too much. So I think there wasn't a lot of space that I gave myself to really reflect and acknowledge that hey, like God is with me through my struggles. I can turn to Him, I can present my struggles to Him when I was having difficulties. So I took on a lot of challenges on my own and just tried to do it my own way. So because of that, a lot of times in that fight or flight mode, I just get very anxious, and I think during this season of transition, when there are just so many things that I wasn't familiar with, I made a lot of mistakes as well, and that was definitely challenging to think about, challenging to acknowledge, because I mean, who likes to admit to their own mistakes, right? So as I was praying, then I was just reminded of this song that I recently came across, and it's something that I've been listening to quite often, but I think I just never really let the words sink into me. I never really I didn't really take a lot of time to reflect on what these words really meant, and it was only during this period that I really looked at the lyrics of this song and realized like, wow, I think that's me, man. I think that this song really just summarizes very much what I have been going through during this past 1 year. All those seasons of struggling, of trying to do things my own way, of making mistakes, of fumbling, of returning to God when I realized that I've made a mistake, and desperately trying to get His help, to get His intervention in my life, and then again falling away and just trying to do things my own way again. And this song has just brought about a lot of comfort during these few days of reflection as I was thinking about the past year, as I was reflecting on how I have grown or not grown as a person. So I will share this song with you guys together with my husband Matthew. We actually recorded a short cover. It's not perfect, we are not great singers, we are okay, I would say. So it's not perfect, but I think the main reason why I wanted to record this and share it with you guys is because of how much comfort it has brought me. So for fellow believers who are watching this, I hope that this song brings about that same comfort to you. And also I just wanted to record this song just to remind myself down the road, should there be a time that comes again where I struggle very intensely because of change, because of my insecurities, because of my lack of control. I hope that I can look back on this recording, this song, and just remember about how God's love is so close to me, how God is really faithful to me. So with that, here's the song that we recorded imperfectly but sincerely, and we hope that you enjoy it.
Strong and I've been broken within a moment. I've been faithful and I've been reckless at every bit. I've held everything together and watched it shatter. I've stood tall and I have crumbled in the same breath. I've wrestled and I have trembled to a surrender. Chased my heart adrift and drifted home.
so I have come to the end of my video. I think I've shared most of what I wanted to share at the start of this video. I apologize if some of my thoughts are not very coherent, and I know that not everyone who is watching this are Christians. Not all of you share the same faith as me, but I do hope that for those who do share the same faith as me, this video gives you encouragement, and even for those who don't, I hope this video encourages you to realize that, like, hey, you are not alone in your struggles. Having insecurities is something that's super normal. It's something that I think most of us have to go through at some point of time in our life. And yeah, I just want to reassure you that you are not alone. Don't ever believe the lie that you are alone and that there's no one who understands you. Do reach out for support if you really find yourself spiraling downwards like in these thoughts, and if you find that you have challenges managing this on your own. Do reach out to your loved ones, your friends, your family, find support, speak to someone. Yeah, and I do hope that this video brings you some comfort to realize that all of us are just really struggling through life together. And it's really the heart of why I've been doing all these videos in the first place. It's really to encourage all of you who are watching to realize that you are not alone, and that there are just so many people out there who are also struggling very similarly, and to normalize some of these conversations as well. So I hope you enjoyed this slightly different video, a bit more talky, a bit more reflective. Yeah, but it's really something that is close to my heart that I hope to do more of as well. So do give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and also you can leave suggestions in the comment section on how I can make such videos better, whether or not there are other topics that you would like me to talk about, and subscribe to my channel for more of such videos and also more of vlogs and just daily life things. Thank you for watching, thank you for supporting. I will see you in my next video. Bye!